In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this version of the design with these nice little, they almost look like beads, but it's using half-round wire. So watch my original video for the frame and the bail and this top portion here, and this video just shows the variation that has these two wires coming down like this with the little half-round around it.
Version 5 is going to be the sunstone here. Oh, another thing I want to point out. So far these have all been ovals with the little gap on the bottom. But of course you can use a teardrop and have the point of the teardrop fill in that little point on the bottom. Like I'm using here, a teardrop. Or in that very original video, I had an oval stone and I had the wrap go around the bottom of it tightly without this little gap. So lots of different options here. Oval with a gap, oval without a gap, teardrop, point down, teardrop, point up, teardrop honestly doesn't work that well. So I'm not doing that in this video because then it fills in this hole and then you have like nowhere to tuck away the wires because the stone is there and they hit the stone. So a little tricky. I'm not going to attempt that in this video. Can be done, you just have to leave kind of a gap for yourself, but it's a lot of trouble. So in this one, what I'm going to do is frontmost wire, backmost wire. I am going to wrap some half-round wire. That is what I did, I'm pretty sure, in that original video. I'm going to do it slightly different this time because I'm going to use two different types of half-round wire in two different gauges. So I'm starting out with my regular one that I've been using in this video, which is the 22 gauge half-round. I'm just wrapping it around that frontmost wire. Once you have a nice little wrap, you can kind of squish down that wire end. Don't make this too long because then it might get stuck and you won't be able to push it down. So if it's just like a little long, it should be enough to where it grips. So now when you do this, the whole thing doesn't spin, because if it doesn't grip enough, the whole thing will spin, and then instead of wrapping around more, you're just spinning it in place. So if that happens, just try to like hold it with your finger as you wrap, but at some point it'll start gripping nicely where you can just keep wrapping like this. And if you make like a long wrap up here and then you try to push it down, sometimes it gets stuck and I have trouble pushing it down. That's why I make a little short one. I pinch down that wire end and then I push it down. And usually that grips nicely and I can just do this. So as I'm doing this, I am going to be seeing if it's long enough to reach across. So you can start to bend it. Oh, that's plenty long already. And that is plenty long to bend across. Really don't need much. So it's going all the way across. I might even like unravel a few wraps here. I want it to go pretty much to the edge, but not so much that it goes onto the little wire end that I'm going to be tucking away. You know what I mean? Like I want to tuck away a plain little wire end, not a wrapped up one. All right, so since I trimmed that wire, I'm just going to push that in, push the little wire end of it in. It was already kind of going around. So it's kind of hidden away. And then this little wire end, hiding that away as well. And by the way, I didn't measure all of these stones, but they're all about 1 inch. Some might be slightly bigger, some might be slightly smaller, but that's not the important thing. I mean, if you have a stone, even if it's smaller or bigger, it's still gonna work unless it's like a lot bigger. Then you might want to use some thicker wire, some sturdier wire if it's, you know, really big stone, or if it's something really small, like half the size of the stone, then I'd probably use 21 gauge instead of 20, just to make it easier to work with something so small. But anyways, I'm gonna grab some 18 gauge half-round wire now. All right, so this is some 18 gauge half round wire. It's thicker than the 22, much thicker. So what I'm gonna do is essentially the same thing. This little end, just grabbing and I'm wrapping around the other wire that remains. And a really fun thing to do is, if you like the look of mixed metals, which I do, this is a great way to incorporate some silver or gold fill or brass into your piece for a mixed metal type of look. All right, so just like on the other one, I trimmed it. I made this tiny little wrap here. I'm sliding it down. All right, and now let's see if it'll stay in place. Yep, luckily it stays. And I'm just gonna keep going, not for too long, as I learned with the last one. And this is gonna go across the bottom there. I think we need just a little bit longer. All right, let's see if that's long enough. Perfect. That is perfect. I'm just trimming off that little end so that it's on the back here. If I can get in there. So this just adds some nice texture to the piece using these, just wrapping it around, cutting it off and tucking it in like we've been doing with all of these wires and all of the pieces here. Just add some nice dimension and texture, and especially if you oxidize it, you'll really see that texture come out. And like I said, if you like mixed metal look, you can, do silver and gold, and it'll just add some lovely colors to the piece. So this is version number 5 of this design.
So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.